Hello, everybody, and welcome to the party. My name is Don. I will be your Galaxy Master for the evening, and you are joining us for Hyperdrive, the first Ember, a Star Wars story. Before we get into our game tonight and join the crew of the Dark Horse, we would like to give a shout out to our amazing sponsors. These include Tabletop Loot, our amazing dice sponsor, providers of fine dice for all of your gaming needs. Head on over to tabletoploot.com. Use the code WTTPDICE to get 15% off of your next purchase. Now, Maddie and his amazing merch shop are the sole provider of Welcome to the Party merch, so head on over to sonerdwear.com. Use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off of your purchase. So Nerdwear. It's what the nerds wear. Now, Welcome to the Party is proudly supported by Roll20, the virtual tabletop that runs straight out of your web browser. Everything you need to play with your friends is ready at the click of a mouse, from click-to-roll character sheets to built-in video and voice chat. You can even upload your own maps and tokens, which you'll be seeing plenty of tonight. Get all of that and more with a free basic account on roll20.net/start/WTTP. Finally, Welcome to the Party is proudly supported by Devin Rue, who has provided huge support to the community ever since we've launched. For some of the best cartographical content on the web, go ahead and check out rueinc.com. Now, our Patreon not only goes to support the channel, but the people who support it too. Your generosity allows us to keep working on our mission to continue platforming LGBTQ+ and BIMPOC players and creators. So come check us out on patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg. And as always, come join us on our amazing Discord, where you can chat with myself, all of my players, and plenty more people who would love to talk and play some games with you. The link is being posted now in our chat. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and introduce the crew of the Dark Horse, our band of would-be rebels in a time before the alliance against the Empire has ever been fully established. We are going to go ahead with our introduction, starting with Summer.
Hi, I'm Persephone, and I play Summer, a very unorthodox Sith and a former Inquisitor.
Next is Crava.
Hi there, I am Sorkia. I play Kravos Strellis, the Twi'lek's sniper and former Black Ops for the Galactic Republic.
Next, we have Zora.
Hello, I'm Kupo Knight, and I will be playing Zora, the Togruta Guardian of the Will.
Then comes Oni.
Hello, I go by Ulfrig on the internet, and I will be playing Oni, who is a Dathomirian Night Sister / Force Witch, codename Sparkfly.
And last but certainly not least is Kiala.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly and I will be playing Kiala, an albino Belisar, who is a slicer, spicer, smuggler Jedi Knight.
With the crew set, we joined them last where we left off on our sibling channel, New to the Party, which if you'd like to catch the rest of the series, you can go there now and watch us on video on demand. The Dark Horse had found itself on the ancient Sith homeworld of Korriban. They currently are working alongside a pair of Jedi refugees, Master Karsk Barben and his Padawan, Kali Shasto. Wow, that was a slip. The two of them have proclaimed that they have a weapon that can put an end to the Empire for good. What it has been revealed to be is something they call Operation Blade. It is a means to hack into the Imperial HoloNet and be able to have instantaneous access to all Imperial communications across the entire galaxy. Time and time again, the crew of the Dark Horse have found that while they have difficulty talking over great distances and coordinating with other groups, the Empire has no problems with this. Being able to complete Operation Blade will give them a brief window in which they can get out a single message to every single sentient creature at once. With that, unfortunately, the only easily accessed HoloNet node that they've been able to find is within Korriban. Descending into the tomb of the unknown Dark Lord, our heroes were afflicted by visions from their past, dark memories that were brought to light by both the dark side energies of Korriban itself and, as last we saw, apparently a wraith of the ancient Sith. Oni was in conversation with this creature. Oni stood within the fields of her home world of Dathomir in yet another vision, face to face with a frankly rather small compared to your very tall Zabrak features, Chiss woman, who you can see reddened hair spilling out from under a very dark hooded shroud, and always gleaming beneath it are the matte red eyes of the Chiss. The vision fades slowly, bringing you back into the tomb that you found yourself within. The glow of Kiama's and Summer's lightsaber is about the only thing projecting light in this area.
So did you all see the red-eyed person?
Summer, you are on mute.
Am I better now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that was a real person ghost thing. Unlike the visions. The visions were fake. But that was real.
But the walls did identify her as being of House Lunak.
And an unknown Dark Lord, so, you know, the good and the bad.
Can't say we weren't warned.
Hey, creepy eye person, now that you've got us here, are you going to show us where to go, or are you just going to play more weird mind games with us?
Oh, no, I'm quite done with the mind games.
Holy
A
shit,
voice
she's still
echoes
here.
across the entirety of the hallway.
Of course she's still here.
Unfortunately, the last bunch of tomb robbers were far more fun to play with than you lot. Too stout, too resilient. While it would be a challenge, and I sure do relish such things, I don't frankly have the time.
Yeah, we don't either. How do we get to the Imperial base and control center thing? Do you even know?
Light from an unknown source begins to light up in the hallway in front of you, and you see it start winding and twisting through the corridors here. I assume you mean the one who thinks that titles and revelry make her important. She seeks to siphon most of the energy away from this place. Unfortunately, she has found some way to ward me out of these other levels she has excavated into my resting place.
Want to help us get
Well,
rid of her
hey,
forever?
that's more of a reason to kill her.
Oh, I don't believe that killing her may be necessary. Maiming, debasing, humiliating, absolutely. But you said you were here to start a war, did you not?
Yep.
Death too quickly is not exactly my goals.
Our war is not with her. Our war is bigger than that. But if you're all through this creepy place, let's talk about it while we're on our way.
I have a small war with her, but that's my business.
The voice follows you as you move throughout the corridors. You said that you wanted to ask it questions, Oni. What did you want to ask?
I don't remember.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for the voice, or?
What was
Kiala,
what was Korriban like while you were still alive?
It pains me to see people such as yourself walking upon it. children playing with toys. I remember a Sith empire that stretched across countless star systems, that went on without end and nearly brought about the final end of the Jedi Order and the Republic in one swift, decisive blow. Now all that is left is tombs and shadow, torn apart by our own ambitions, torn apart by the arrogance of people who think that giving themselves fancy names somehow makes themselves more powerful and important, forgetting that there is only power and nothing else when it comes to the ways of the Sith.
I would agree.
So is
They did gain a half measure of victory over the Jedi in recent years, but not true. It was not a true victory.
They'll come back. They always do, like roaches. Kiala, what were you going to say?
Well, Keala was just going to quip. So is unknown your first name?
You see, my mother gave it to me. She thought it was quite fitting, considering she never knew the daughter that she had. My name is Lunaki Ixale. You can call me Kix for short.
Hicks.
I think that sounds more like a Chiss name than a Sith name.
It is a Chiss name.
My point exactly. What were you known to the Sith as?
The voice gets louder specifically around your ears, Kiala, though all of you can hear a kind of pressure throoming through the forest. Lunak E Ixale. I had no
Names-
need.
Oh.
I had no need for a title such as Darth. My presence and power alone defined me. It did not matter what they called me. It only mattered what they screamed.
Okay, that's intense. Right.
Touched a source point.
Names are important, especially so among the Sith.
So,
They placed such prominence on names, they left a tomb behind. Oh, what were you saying, Arnie?
just did anyone else have anything along this line, by the way? Because I was going to change topics.
Oh no, I was just trying to support Kix.
So you brought up some weird stuff for all of us. How'd you do it?
In life, I never used anything as cruel as blades or, Force help me, a lightsaber to deal with my victims. The Force is a means to invade someone's minds and most inner thoughts, to see their true feelings and emotions. I merely have a natural gift for bringing such things to the surface that those would rather keep far hidden. Don't you think that secrets are no fun unless they're shared?
The Night Sisters would say that a secret shared is no longer a secret.
My point exactly. Your path brings you starting to head down sloping corridors until eventually you get to a part of the tomb that has actually been carved away. It's very, very clear to see. It's a very recent amount of laser cutting through the rock that has made a very almost perfectly semicircular hole into the tomb. Just beyond that, you can see fluorescent lighting. You can see more imperial gray style ceilings and floors and walls. You can see that it's clear that this was built within recent months.
Why do they always use the same shade of gray?
Supposedly, it costs less. At
Yeah.
least I overhear some of the smaller ones talking about meager things as finances. Well, I've done my bit.
Have
Run
you?
along, little ants.
Have you done your bit? You know, there's a powerful-ish person in there, but not as powerful as you. But the greater the power, the more delightful the suffering, no?
Oh, I don't think you quite understand.
Enlighten
There is a
me.
part of me that quite enjoys the fact that this tiny little Sith has actually managed to cause me this amount of pain. There's a power within that and that alone. So, either way, I succeed here. If you head down into those depths and slaughter her, and I can hear her from up here as it echoes through the stone, then I would be quite delighted and quite happy. And if all of you should happen to fall, well, the weak will die off to make room for the strong. It is the way of the universe. And I will revel in your deaths just as much.
That's comforting.
You almost feel a hand on your shoulder, Zora, as the voice says, "Do I make you uncomfortable? I should."
You
Now,
make me uncomfortable. And the Belisar's antenna palps retract. It is a very disconcerting feeling, that sense of sadism that permeates off of her, that the Belisar can sense on an intimate level.
Oni is,
go ahead, Oni.
Oni is going to go over, and if Zora has like flinched back away, is going to juxtapose and put herself in that space.
I'm just like,
You hear a chuckle from that as the voice replies, "Oh, that bravery will certainly get you killed one day. Hopefully not here." And to the Balasar, to Kiala, the voice turns and says, "Oh, so you're like me. You can also feel it on a close, personal level, can't you?"
No, not like you.
Hmm. Well, I suppose no, not like me. Everyone said my father was not quite entirely within Chiss ideals when he took a Zeltron woman as my mother, but I'm sure that hasn't had any effects whatsoever. Now, this is my home and my tomb, and my graciousness has run out. Head downstairs, deal with your Sith. Hopefully we meet again.
or not.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Kelly?
We might have lost Kelly.
Okay. We might have
Oh,
some
no.
cam weirdness in a moment, but I'll fix it as we go. Well,
The voice disappears at that point. None of you can even feel the dark side presence emanating from it.
you know, you meet the strangest people in the strangest places.
It was far from the worst thing that happened to me.
Why is she stuck here? She's just wandering around haunting whatever?
It's her tomb.
That must suck.
I don't know if she's haunting it. I think she's specifically here because she wants to be.
I mean, I can understand loving a place, but I don't think that's what's going on. Anyway. Yeah, we've got some Imperials, and we need to fuck up their days right good, I reckon. So, shall we leave the creepy business lady to her haunting and get on with it?
Yes, please.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind bringing her with, but she seems pretty set against us.
Yeah, I was hoping we could convince her too.
We don't need her. We'll be fine.
No, we got this.
I'm with
Sword just has a horrified look on her face, just like.
And as they walk and they start to go over into the Imperial base, Onish is going to go over to Zora and very quietly say, "Thank you for helping out Kryla. I'm glad you were there for her."
Oh, wait, did you put a hand on my shoulder? Or I forgot.
Yeah. Let's say
okay.
yeah.
I just put my hand over Oni's hand and just squeeze it and just let go.
You make your way down into the base. It doesn't take long before you find yourselves before a turbo lift door. Kali, who has been rather quiet up until this point, almost practically clinging to Kiala's back, steps forward with a cool Ichani grace to her as she goes to the control panel of the turbo lift and says, "Hold on, I've got this one." And with that, she pulls out a slicer's kit, plugs into it, and takes a moment to begin the slice. After about half a second, however, she suddenly steps back and she puts her head to her hand and just kind of shakes it out, blinks a little bit. Stalks, I'm sorry, can you finish the slice? I'm sorry.
What's going on? What's up?
Something's wrong in this place, more than normal.
Kiala,
She knows we're here, in all likelihood.
Kiala gently takes Kali and sets her down, and she says, "It's okay, sis. I feel it too. This is the light is not." The dark side permeates every element of this place. It's draining me. But if you need a little something, she shakes her spice kit.
She smiles a little bit at that and chuckles. She places a hand upon your upper arm, Kiala, and says, "I appreciate it, Stalks, but the Force is my ally. And as long as I am with you and the rest of your friends, I can still feel it, enough to keep warm in the cold."
No, you and your principles. And she takes over picking up the slicing kit to continue with Kali's work.
As you finish the slice, it dawns on Kiala that the code break here, while somewhat complex, is not at all difficult for anyone who's even somewhat of a competent slicer. But the turbo lift opens.
I'm awesome. Entree.
There is plenty of dark here. The dark of the planet, the dark of the mother, and my own. And hopefully my darkness will swallow hers before the planet swallows all of us.
Kali thinks about that for a moment and then responds with, "You can't banish a shadow with a shadow, though. It just makes a bigger shadow." And almost contemplating that herself, she steps into the turbo lift.
The Force is like, or at least the dark side of the Force, is like an ocean. If you go too deep, you'll drown, but there's power and life everywhere. And perhaps most relevant right now, there's always a bigger fish.
We're going to need a bigger boat. And Kiala gets on the turbo lift.
Oni is looking very, very thoughtful and also gets on the turbo lift and immediately starts looking around the turbo lift for an escape hatch or something because this is a trap.
There is a hatch at the top.
Okay.
We're just going to have to see how big of a fish I am.
It is a good point, though, Oni. We just battled with Master of Illusions. Are we entirely sure we're on a turbo lift?
Kriva, you want to help us out with this one?
She'll lead us to her one way or another.
Let's hope that that's her goal.
I didn't realize it was meeting. Sorry. I don't. I don't know if I can, to be honest, honey.
You did it once already.
Outside of combat, you can activate force powers just that way.
At will. At
Okay.
will. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give it a shot, and I'll activate. I'll attempt to use my sight power. It's not something I really practice, so.
No time like the present.
I think Zora will stand by Crava and like kind of hover just in case like she needs any support.
You open up your eyes to the Force in all of its glory and mystery. Around you, thankfully, the elevator or the turbo lift and the walls around it and the cable that suspends it all appear to actually be real. They give off nothing within the Force, nothing that you can see at the very least. Instead, what is glowing most brightly to you are your comrades, your companions, who each of them are like beacons of light, especially within the dark of Korriban. Each of them has their own distinct look within this special vision of yours. You can literally see the swirl of dark and light side energies around them, how Kiala burns brighter than any star you've ever seen, and how swirling about Summer is almost like the maw itself, drawing in all of this dark energy until it radiates it back out.
It's no illusion. This is definitely surreal, though.
What do you see?
To put it lightly, chaos.
Oh,
I see light. I see the dark. This is. Crave is just going to shut her eyes.
Okay.
must be beautiful though.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 or 4 torches in a cave. And all around us, darkness. There's not much to see.
Well, good news. It's probably not an illusion then.
Yeah, it's not an illusion. At least not the one that I can tell.
So where are we
It's-
going?
The turbo lift only has one direction. Down.
Well, technically, it would have 2, down and up.
Well,
It's just at its max.
Oh my god.
Well, let's go fishing then.
lose 50 experience.
We don't have experience.
I know.
Where's Upsy,
Okay.
your lifting friend, when you need them?
No, we are not bringing Taz into this.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely not.
The turbo lift descends. As it does, everyone within the lift can feel Kali starting to get more and more concerned. She starts to clutch at first onto Kiala and then starts pressing towards anyone who is close. She starts to breathe a little heavier. She begins to start hyperventilating at one point. until eventually she takes very deep, shuddering breaths and literally tries to hold herself together through just holding her breath as long as she can and letting it out very, very slow.
If it's all right with her, Oni will go behind her and just kind of wrap her in a firm hug.
No,
gonna...
she accepts. Over your shoulder, she looks at Summer, and with very wide, very pale blue eyes, she simply says, "She's here."
I can feel her too. I'm going to fucking kill her if it's the last thing I do.
Let's hope it's not the last thing you do.
And the rest of us will get you out of here. We're not leaving you behind, I promise.
At that, colleague grips you even tighter, Oni, and she nods firmly and she says, "We all leave together.
Mm-hmm.
That was the promise that I made to Barven. We all leave together."
Well, we best make sure you keep your promise.
And she pulls back and kind of looks at you inquisitively and goes, "Well, I'm not one to break them."
Didn't think you... This conversation went very odd all of a sudden. I didn't mean... Sorry?
I don't understand what you're apologizing for, but I accept if it makes you feel better.
Okay.
The lift comes to a stop with a shuddering halt. It kind of throws some of you off balance a little bit. You grip onto the railings to steady yourself. The doors slide open towards another dark corridor. However, as soon as it does, you can already hear the whispering, the soft chittering and humming and almost rhythmic chanting, as lining the walls here are glowing red stones. As you step out and take a look at them, Summer, at the very least, can identify that these pyramid-like objects are holocrons. Many, many holocrons. Each of them created by Sith of old. And from them emanates the knowledge and rage and resonance of the lords that poured themselves into these mystical devices.
I would like to pick a random one and just try and yank it off the wall.
Okay. You pick a random one off the wall. Go ahead and roll me a d6 and call odd or even.
I'm really wishing
Okay.
the system had a roll to check for traps.
Would we know what these are?
Oh, what was that, Zora?
Would like non-Sith people know what these are? Or
Zora and Kiala might have an idea at the very least. Like, they would know what a holocron is and approximately what it looks like and acts like, so they might assume, oh, these are a type of those. Holocrons are not really a thing that the Dathomiri make, for sure. And Crava, you're a soldier. Like, you don't know about weird fucking Jedi data cubes.
Yeah.
Resembles
USB drives.
I'm thinking she does not deserve to have this knowledge. So I'm gonna call odd.
Call odd.
Fuck.
What is it?
It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay. As you touch it, you get a very sharp sting on your hand. You withdraw it very, very quickly as you hear a voice boom out from the holocron. You and only you. Nobody else hears this. "You are not known to us. When you are once a part of our brotherhood again, return, and perhaps our knowledge shall be yours."
Okay, fine. I will deal with her and claim what's mine, and then I'll deal with you, angry little fucking pyramid.
Summer, are you okay?
I'm fine, just the damn fucking holocron doesn't fucking recognize me. I'll show it to fucking recognize me.
It spoke to you?
Would
Did you not hear it? It was pretty loud.
no, we didn't hear
Heard
anything.
nothing.
Yeah, no, it was pretty loud. And it said it didn't recognize me. So, I have no idea what that means, but it's wrong because I am a Sith. So, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill this asshole, and then I'm gonna take all of them.
What would you make of this? Is it some sort of archive?
I don't know. It could be an archive. It could be like a study. She's weird. I'm sure she'll have a monologue about it. She's very vain. Just can we just move along and get to the killing?
I want to try touching one or grabbing one.
I would recommend against it.
Yeah, Kiala, as soon as Zora starts to reach for it, Kiala is like backing up. Nope, 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 nope.
Do you reach for one, Zora?
Yes.
So for you, it's roll a d6, and you're looking for a 5 or a 6.
Ooh, a D6?
Yeah, and you're looking for a 5 or a 6. It's not as easy for you to deal with these things.
Okay. Perfect.
For you, it just straight up hurts. You don't even hear anything, but you yelp and yank your hand back as if you had touched molten carbonite at that point. It burns unlike anything you've ever felt.
No. Oh, oh,
You okay, Zora?
um, that wasn't a good idea. Ooh, ooh.
I mean, not to be fair, Summer did warn you.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I've never touched a holocron, so I was curious.
Sometimes you can only learn by doing.
Yeah.
How many times I've had that lesson?
See, exactly. Oh.
Oni's going to take Zora's hand. Is it like notably burned or anything? Is there any sign?
Nope. It doesn't look injured whatsoever. Summer, you were on mute, by the way.
Dang it. I was gonna say, I mean, you're the one who listened to me the most, as far as I can tell. Like, you had the best chance of doing it out of, any of y'all. I don't know. Maybe if you listen to me more, you'll touch one and they'll only just scream at you.
No. Okay.
Rava's gonna pull out a blaster and shoot one.
Don't fucking do that. Can I like
Kramer, what are you doing?
Is it overstepping player boundaries to attempt to deflect a blaster away from them?
I will put it to Crava. Crava, would you, in this narrative sense, allow Summer to stop this, or
Nope.
you want to actually shoot one?
I see Koopa get injured Zora get injured, and it's like, clearly these things are dangerous. I'm just curious if I could destroy it with a blaster bolt, so I'm going to shoot the one that Zora touched.
Okay. Just because. Okay. Well, we'll resolve this very quickly.
Okay.
You whip up the blaster. Summer immediately snap hiss. The lightsaber comes out, and the cut is just a fraction behind the bolt leaving the barrel, to the point where the barrel gets a little singed at the top of your rifle. And it hits the holocron. It absorbs the bolt into it, and then an arc of electricity leaps out of it back at you, Grava. It cascades over your body for a brief moment, and you are also racked in similar pain to how Zora was.
Kiala?
Don't touch them. Do not shoot them. I will deal with them after we deal with the mother. Can we move on now?
Yep, definitely. Let's leave the creepy cubes alone.
Pyramids.
I go to Krava and start like helping her up and like
Kiala is going to be struggling through this room. It's particularly painful and hard to be in the presence of these cubes.
Kali takes your hand, Kiala, And with every step forward, she keeps on repeating, emotion, yet peace. Ignorance, yet knowledge. Chaos, yet harmony. Passion, yet serenity. And just keeps that going every single step, gripping as tight as she can through your fingers.
I think under her breath, Summer is just doing peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The force shall free me.
And of course, Kiala can hear them both.
And
It's
Oni
like-
is singing, "We're off to see the wizard." No.
You proceed down the hallway until it expands into a very, very large circular room with 6 columns within the center, arranged within the semicircle pattern on each side. You see that the holocrons extend all throughout the walls here. There's many of them. It seems as if they have been gathered from almost every single tomb and grave on the entirety of the planet. There couldn't possibly be this many on Corbin alone. On the far back wall is a massive control panel, as well as a multitude of holo projectors. And from that, you all can see through the projections visions of the entire galaxy. There's imagery of Coruscant back on Imperial Center. There's visions of Kashyyyk and Dak and Iridonia and Commodore and Duro and 1,000 other planets. In fact, some of you think that you catch imagery of Socorro and the capital of Vikeya City at the same time. And sitting at the only chair in front of this massive panel is a cloaked figure.
Oni's going to quietly hide Kali.
Kali almost practically clings to you at that point, as if like a frightened child. Which again, Kali is not a child. She is certainly an adult, but it's being in the presence here is just eroding her.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that she is visibly touching her arms over scars, or touching her hands over scars on both her arms and along her neck.
Kiala nods to Oni in, gratitude and camaraderie, knowing that she's doing that for Kali. And she steps forward.
So desperate that you bring one of their kind here to face me as well.
I really didn't want to make them stay away. I could take you by myself, but I figure, it would be all the more humiliating for you if others were here as well.
The cloaked figure stands, but still does not turn. You see that she is, at this point, roughly about the same height as Oni. Foolish girl. Finding yourselves castaways and wastabouts across the galaxy. What is it that I feel here? A Jedi practically dead to the Force from your body being so ramshackled by spice. Is that? Oh, yes. The Sith made short work of your planet, didn't they, Night Sister? Not exactly much of a fight from those who were supposed to be so powerful in the dark side they could tame rancors, and you couldn't even tame one old man. And a protector. a protector of temples that are now nothing but ruins across every single star system. How does it feel to know that you failed so utterly? And you, I can't even feel you. So dead inside and so dead to the Force. You belong in this tomb. All of you.
The only one who's going to die here today is you. I will not let you hurt anyone else.
She finally turns and lowers the hood, revealing within the reddish light her blonde gray hair and one eye startlingly blue and the other already starting to shade over into the yellow of the Sith. Daughter, it's been far too long.
I am not your daughter.
You think the woman who didn't understand the gift her child possessed raised you? I took you in. I taught you to use everything that the
You
Force had
took
granted.
me away. You abused me and tortured me for years.
To make you strong. And now here you are, within the birthplace of our ancestors itself, finally ready to claim your rightful place at my side.
I am going to strike you down, and the Emperor, and Darth Vader, and the whole damn Empire, and you will be ash and dust and memory.
She slowly reaches into her coat pocket, pulls out the curved hilt of a single lightsaber, and as it activates in front of her with a Makashi salute, raising the blade up and then swiping to the side. Summer, I will never be a memory. And we are in combat.
Oni's going to squeeze Kali behind her and just say, "Be ready to move to that console, kid."
She nods, but after a moment takes a deep breath and says, "Not until the danger is gone. I must help you, all of you."
Kiala
And
looks back at Oni and Kali and says, "Easy, easy, my sisters. The bravado may be able to fool the average person, but not me. She feels fear. Summer feels bravado."
Shocking.
As
Kali, go
in,
ahead.
one is real, the other is not.
Kali grits her teeth at that and says, "I may be scared, sister, but I am still a Jedi just as you. Hold her off. I will do what I can." This is our new and updated combat tracker. Woo! We brought it up to 1.5 edition of Airlock. So, with that said, excuse me, down here we are tracking a one heavy target, as you can see from the black bar around our target bricks here. Okay, so this is going to be in stages where one brick counts as one opponent, and then the next brick after that opponent is defeated, and then one last bit here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With that said, you also have Kali is going to be in the back doing her best to channel the Force to help out the party, to make sure that everyone is able to get through this fight with enough energy by the time it's finished. She counts as an inspiration as she sits there and meditates and tries to do her best to transfer her control over the Force to one of you at a time. So anyone can activate the inspiration once per round. You can choose any crewmate to use it with, but once it's used, then it's not available until the beginning of the next round. The inspiration reduces any crewmate's fatigue by 3 immediately. Clear? Okay. So, she immediately just rushes Summer at that point. It's blade
Oh,
out.
yeah.
She is incredibly fast, clearing the distance between the two of you in the blink of an eye, and drops Summer all the way up to 8 danger immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And lightsabers clash and spark within the red dark of the room. So, who goes next?
I would.
I imagine.
Yeah. Because we've made a couple changes to powers and things, I would like to storm and also throw bellow in there.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So go ahead and storm. That's going to bring your danger all the way up to 11.
Yes.
Yes.
Not 6100. So there's 60, 10. Okay.
Let's see.
That is 6 successes with Gem So, +3 for Storm, and then +3 for Bellow is 12, so 2 hits.
3. Oh yeah, 2 hits. I'm not good at math. 2 hits.
I'll take 3 hits.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure that you would love 3 hits. So that is a pretty overwhelming success to start the fight. So lightsabers clash as the very swift and nimble Makashi dueling style of your former mentor clashes against your own strong style within Diem So. What does it look like? What happens? How do you get these 2 hits?
Just I scream and use the pure sonic force of the Force to push her away, and then I try and put her on the defensive with a series of rapid sword strikes.
And you were able to get a small nick in through part of her robes. You can see the sudden spark and scoring of, and very, very faint detection of burned flesh through this, but she is able to fend you off using very quick and dexterous fencing parries. You see one hand behind her back at that point as she keeps her distance, extends her blade all the way out to try and push you away and maintain her guard up against you. However, she hasn't touched anyone else at this point. So, as the fight is joined, what do the rest of you do?
Okay, I'm not muted. I think Creva is going to pull up her rifle, and while she's distracted, make sure the disintegrator ordnance is loaded correctly and take a shot. Or sorry, the disruptor pack is loaded correctly and take a shot at the mother.
And you do so. Go ahead and make that roll. I'm assuming that's going to be a flank.
Yeah, it's going to be a flank.
Okay.
Oh. My mind just blinked.
You okay?
Roll. Yeah, it's slash roll, right?
Slash roll space.
Okay.
The dice.
40-10 plus 1d6. Ooh.
Do you have a break?
I do.
Do you have a passage?
I do.
So that gets you at least 0 successes, but it was a flank, right?
Yes, it's a flank.
Do you want to add a talent to push yourself out of the fail state or no? Because if you spend a 3-point talent, you'll get a hit.
I mean, the only 3-point talent I have is actually that's not right.
That's not right.
Aren't we supposed to have one power or talent that is up a rating? Right?
You should, yeah.
Apparently, I have the wrong sheet open, or like an old sheet. because this
Okay.
is not up. This is not updated, but that's okay for right now. Yeah, I will use finesse, and that'll be 3.
And that'll grant you the hit. So how does your finesse overcome your mistake here, in that you weren't able to land a hit without it?
So Krava's gonna kind of swing the rifle around, and while she's checking the power pack for the disruptor charge, she kind of fumbles with it a little bit, which is abnormal for her, but maybe just being in the presence of so much darkness, it's just kind of overwhelming. But she finally gets it in, and her training kicks in and takes the shot, and maybe grazes the shoulder of the mother.
Okay. And now go ahead and roll for your ordnance, your D6 there, to see if you lose your disruptor.
What is it to keep it? It's
I believe it is a 5 or 6. Give me one moment and I will let you know for sure. Let's see, disruptors on a roll of 1, 2, or 3, it becomes useless. So you need a 4, 5, or 6 to keep it.
okay. Don't screw me over, roll 20. Sweet.
All right, the disruptor is still in play. Who goes next?
Zora, you're muted if you're talking.
Oh, I know. I was talking to myself. I'm like, where am I? Because I have so many screens up that I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know. I just saw the chat. God damn it. I'll go next, I guess.
Okay.
No
Zora,
one
what do
else?
you do?
I want to take advantage of all these distractions that are coming up and kind of just like art of movement. I went my way, like hopefully behind the mother, and just like take my staff and just like bop her. Like I don't know if that counts as a flank or a storm. I want to storm, but I'm not sure if behind like behind her
Well,
back counts.
you're getting into melee with a very powerful dark side user. I would say that probably puts your danger up, let's be honest.
Technically, with two powerful dark side users. One of them who is kind of a bit of a berserker at the moment.
So that's a storm.
Yes, I'm saying you can storm.
Okay. I was
Yes.
just like, so what does that mean?
Yeah, yes. What I was trying to say is
Okay.
that it's definitely a storm in the sense that it's very dangerous to get into a melee fight like this right now.
Sick.
Hey, Jago, I actually forgot I have mobile warfare, which on flank allows me to reduce 1 damage per success. So-
1 danger, but you currently have no danger.
Oh, I thought that was for. I misread that. I apologize.
Yeah, it's for yourself.
Yep. I was thinking it was for others. Sorry.
Okay. So Zora, technically you would get a hit at this point, as you got 2 successes on the roll, and a storm gives you 3. Your danger goes up by 3. However, heavies now have it where unless you use a talent or ordinance on the roll, you do not actually do damage.
I thought Zora
So
was using Art of Movement.
art of movement is for rush
That
and
is
is
my
a technique.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can spend the fatigue to use a power, but otherwise you don't actually get the hit.
What's the environment like?
So it's a large open circular room with 6 columns that are arranged in semicircles on both sides, with like kind of a walkway through the center area, and all the way in the back is the big control console display of all the hologram stuff in the HoloNet suite that you're trying to lock into. And currently, Summer and the mother are dueling in the center of that column area.
Okay, I want to in that case, I'm going to rush the mother, bop her with take a swipe at her with my staff, but like use the momentum and use telepathy to like, so when it impacts, she will just fly over to a column and crush against it.
Telekinesis?
Or I guess telekinesis, sorry,
Yeah,
not
Yeah.
telepathy.
No, that works. That's cool. That's actually really cool. Okay, so
Wrong
spend
Tella.
wrong Tella.
Wrong Tella.
My least favorite kind of Nutella. So you do get the hit in that case, as yes, you come in and dodging this just furious melee of lightsaber blades, humming and buzzing all about you. You land that strike because the mother is so focused on trying to overwhelm Summer, and it does indeed. She goes back, she hits into the column. You see that bits of the stone break away at that point. She drops and pushes herself up immediately before launching back at both of you. At this point, using both the force with telekinetics pushes and strikes to try and force Zora back, while her blade is almost entirely focused on Summer. But you are making headway. Who goes next? Either Oni or Kiala. And don't forget, anyone at any point can also trigger Kali to help lower someone's fatigue if they spent it yet.
I guess that Kiala is going next. I just want to make sure if I'm not going to ruin Oni's plans. We're all good? Okay.
Yeah, because I believe you had a relationship trigger, right?
I did. So Summer is actually Kiala's ward. So I can invoke a relationship. I just need I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to either storm or suppress. And
Considering I believe Oni has a ridiculously high suppression, it may be good to use a relationship in this case to use your storm, because I know your storm rating is very low, right?
it is. So this is my opportunity to actually do something, fighty with a Balazar.
You should be fighty.
Yeah.
So doing the fighty.
We're gonna do the fighty.
Fighty. Danger
Humiliate
up by
the mother.
3. So danger up by 3. 5 successes immediately from triggering the relationship. 1, 2, 3 because it's a storm. And if you trigger literally any of your talents, because you have to in order to land the first hit anyway, it will actually give you 2 hits on this roll.
I have to?
You
To get
have
this-
to.
To get the first hit.
Well, yes, you have to use a talent every single time you actually get a hit to make sure it lands against a heavy target, specifically a heavy target, which the mother is. She's a boss. She's meant to be very difficult to take down.
Great. Then I'm going to use Tuta Minis.
Tuta Minis, how are you using that?
So,
And
Kiala,
that's good.
what were you saying?
Is it rated at a 3 or a 4?
It's a 4.
It's a 4. God. Okay. So this is one of your best powers. Go ahead. What happens?
So, Kiala very intensely moves into a focused position with their hands starting to extend, and you can hear the holocron cubes in the background begin to hum louder and louder and louder and louder as the energy builds and begins to condense until it crackles with energy. And suddenly, all of that power explodes in an arcing path of electricity, just, as big around as a Brachi's body. Sorry, honey. And pummels straight towards the mother's chest.
Okay. Holy shit. That's super cool. So the mother raises her lightsaber at that point to try and catch this overwhelming amount of power, but the blade at that point is not enough to hold it all off. You see her struggling and just at that point barely able to contend with both Zora and Summer, also trying to get hits in, also with this flurry of flourishes. And the electricity eventually begins to arc up her hand to the point where she has to leap all the way to the other side of the room just to get away from this debilitating charge that you've built up. And you can see that smoke starting to rise up on her robe as she cuts off the cloak and lets it fall to the ground as the flames still flicker up it. And then Oni,
is going to suppress.
probably a good idea because Summer otherwise is in a lot of danger.
Yep. Okay.
I'm only at 11.
1, 2, 3. Neither my break nor my whatchamacallit would trigger with that. So that's 3 danger reduced, and I can apply it to 2 people because I have Soresu form.
Oh, who else do you reduce then?
I'm going to go. That lightning was pretty badass. I'm going to go for Roach.
Okay, Roach goes down.
And I think all that this is Oni. Oni is very in touch with the powers of the planet and the things going on around. And and I can activate the inspiration as well, right?
Inspiration?
From Kali.
Oh, yes, to
She
reduce
hasn't
someone's
been used
fatigue.
this round yet.
Kali hasn't been, yeah, so anyone who's used power at this point, or if you want to use power, yeah, you can basically use it for free.
I think I'm going to use that inspiration. I'm going to flavor it weird, but I'm going to draw the dark energy from the planet and send it out towards Summer as like a dark side buff, and that light side energy from Kali, and send that out to Roach, and just kind of use myself as a conduit to like offer them a little extra force protection.
To channel both at the same time. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And it certainly gets them out of danger this time around. That was everyone, correct?
I think so.
You think so?
I believe so.
Okay. Next round begins where the mother currently has an archetype. SH here is self-healing at the beginning of every round. Currently, within her first stage, she just removes a hit. So she takes in a deep breath, and you can feel the dark side pressure beginning to emanate from her. You can feel gravity and space and time around her starting to flex and bend in unnatural ways as she continues to move forward. And in one very fast lightning lunge at this point, she goes right for Zora and spikes your danger up to 11 immediately as she engages with you and has basically decided that, well, if my daughter is going to bring such fun things to play with, I would be very rude not to. So your danger spikes is now you are fully engaged with the Dark Lord of the Sith at this point.
I really need that. Zora is Oni's ward. And I'd kind of like to invoke that and suppress again immediately, and apply all of those successes to Zora and to Zora and to Valkyrie.
Okay, and you said it's through a relationship, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's -5 for both, correct?
Correct. Do I want, where is Valkyrie at? No, 11. So, okay, yeah, that seems okay for now.
Did I take the 11? I took the 11. Whoops.
That is definitely better than 11. So Zora is happy.
And I
So,
think as Oni is continuing to draw these powers, she's going to take a little bit of that darkness from the planet and just like almost pass it in front of the mother so that she's blinded for just a moment. So Zora has a moment to like recatch herself. And both of them have a moment to potentially strike.
okay. I believe Krava had an idea as well for an
Yeah,
action here.
Yeah, and actually, it changed a little bit because Zora got her danger up to 11, which, because she is my ward, I will storm and also use mice. I was gonna activate the relationship, and I'll throw a
Okay.
talent on top of that.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1, 2, 3 plus which talent?
Sight.
Sight. 1, 2, 3. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Spending the fatigue, and that's 2 more hits onto the mother. What do you do? How does it work?
She's gonna be unloading the or recharging the disruptor pack and taking another shot. As she takes her breath in to steady herself, her vision once again goes kind of into that semi X-ray mode where she just kind of like sees through the cloak of the mother and just kind of goes, "Oh, okay, that's where I need to aim," and fires.
And the shot at that point definitely hits home. You see the mother recoil for a moment through the smoke and the blindness and everything, and then now taking a blaster bolt, what looks to be to the gut, and for the briefest moment she stumbles, but otherwise still remains vigilant as she marches down against Summer, and Zora still trying to overwhelm them with her very quick, very agile style.
And I keep my disruptor.
You didn't use the disruptor because you used the talent. You don't actually have to use the ordinance if you use the talent.
They don't stack.
Or it takes 2 hits instead. I see what you're saying. Okay. Then, actually, that would clear out the very first branch of the mother. So, with that hit alone, she stumbles backwards and takes a brief moment to collect herself. And she says, "Confronting me here was a mistake. You walked into a lion's den at this point. You seriously think you're going to leave alive when I could bring the very planet itself against you?" And rising from the shadows and mist in horrific screams of agony appear to be shades, appear to be revenants of whatever creatures were buried here as well with their masters in these tombs of Korriban. Some of them are species you can't even recognize. They are so old. And it's very, very clear that they are in pain every single second that they are pulled out, that whatever ability the mother is using is not gentle and not at all reverent of the dead at all. Oni even thinks that she sees amongst their number what look possibly like Dathomirians or Zabraks, but almost just like far, far bigger. Their horns are far more wild and elongated. It almost looks like they're like a progenitor of your species. They are that ancient.
Out of character, I know what those are, I think.
And with that, we have some new enemies on the board.
Uh-huh.
So the mother's type has now shifted. So she can't self-heal anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. You took care of that. Good job. Instead, now she is a hive mind, where the danger of every single one of these light threats is +1 until she's defeated, which actually that reminds me. That should not be that. That should be that. The danger of every single light threat is +1 until she is destroyed, and she is also now a threat caller. At the beginning of every round, she will make another light threat constantly until she is stopped.
All right.
However, we are in the middle of the round, so thankfully you do have a chance to hopefully take some of these down before they begin doing their thing. So who goes next?
I can go next. And I would again like to storm, but not with Bellow this time. I'm going to use Enhance. Just like, focus on me. You think you are strong with these pathetic illusions? I'm going to crush you, crush them, crush all of you, crush the whole damn empire. And I will roll for Storm now.
You roll for Storm as she steels herself against your assault with "You will fail."
So that's 8 successes because of Gem, so +3 for Storm, and then +3 for Enhance, so that is 14 total.
That is 3 hits immediately.
It's ridiculous.
Summer's built for combat. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of her deal.
Mm-hmm.
Danger goes up by 3.
Yep.
Okay. And what does it look like as you do this? You use Enhance as you do?
Just like physically propel my jump into her kind of and just absolutely increase the strength of my lightsaber swipes at her while also keeping on the speed of a twin saber form. So just absolutely just flailing into her with these sabers as hard as I can.
And Makashi is not designed to stop this. Like, this is an overwhelming amount of force at this point. And the simple light strikes that she uses are having a hard time keeping up with your parries. Or her parries are having a hard time keeping up with you at that point. You batter her saber away multiple times to the point where she uses force enhanced speed to start dodging and rolling out of the way just to stop you from decapitating her. So, who's next?
I guess Roach can go. And I'm actually going to perform flank.
Okay, go for that flank.
Okay.
Because 3 successes will get you to the next hit. And even if you get less than that, as long as you get 0 and use a power, it'll get you to the hit. Oh my. Do you have... It doesn't even matter. No break will actually turn that into a success. This is a dramatic failure at this point.
Am I anybody's comrade?
Yeah, if Kiel is anybody's comrade, that triggers like crazy right now. With that said, do you want to narrate your failure or do you want me
to? No, I guess I will go ahead. I'll narrate this. So, Kiala uses a tremendous amount of force energy in her last move in the Tutaminis, and she doesn't realize from the adrenaline rush that she's lightheaded, she's dizzy, she doesn't feel it. And she activates her lightsaber, which is this gold shimmering color. It's almost metallic, and she starts to rush forward and then it hits her. And the dark side in the air around her just becomes oppressive, and it's almost as if she's trying to move through something viscous, something gelatinous, and she can't even take another step forward, and she falls to a single knee, trembling, just trying to get her energy back.
I like it. And in this place, the dark side is so strong that it's taking that much longer to recover. Who is next?
Actually, just realized, are we not doing Balance of Fate in this?
So it's changed slightly in how it's activated, and I'm
Okay.
sure we will. I'm sure we will get to that next round. Trust me.
It is pinned in the Discord group DM.
Yeah, I read it earlier. I just couldn't remember. Thanks.
No worries. Who has not gone in this round?
I don't think Crava's gone. I don't think Zora's gone.
I
I
went.
know.
Cravo went at the beginning, as did
okay.
Oni, I believe, right? I think it's just
Yeah.
Zora.
There's Sora.
Zora, what do you want to do?
Um,
Now remember, if at all you focus on these light threats, remember you don't need to use talents to hit them. They can just be whacked.
Wait, so the mother always has to be attacked to the talent?
Anytime you attack her to the point where it gets a hit.
Ah,
So like if you land on anything that's not a 5, a 10, a 15, or a 20, you don't actually have to spend a talent because it doesn't actually get a hit.
mm. Oof, 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 oof. Damn.
I know. It's only gonna get
the-
harder.
Where's the mother now? She was fighting. She's still fighting Summer.
Yes, she and Summer are going at it at this point.
Damn. I think in this case, Zora will kind of whip around and flank the go for one of the for the light threats.
One of the light threats. Okay, go ahead and make that roll.
Huh? 4.
Okay, and it's a flank roll, you said, right?
Yeah.
Well, I see 3 successes, which is enough to get a hit. So, which one do you want to hit? So, 2 of these are what is called stun lockers. Anyone they hit cannot use talents at all for the entire round. No force powers, no talents.
Okay.
The other 2,
If it pushes a crewmate to 10 plus.
then they add their danger to another. So basically, if they hit someone that's already like in danger of going over 10 or more, then they just apply that extra danger, or they apply their danger again to a different crewmate. So they're both dangerous for their own reasons.
Yeah. No one's really at 10 over yet. But so I will put it to an SL.
Okay. One of these, which again, they're basically like zombies and skeletons and wraiths given corporeal form through the dark side itself. They move like shadow and liquid and void. How do you strike them and what happens?
So I see, like, I got the hit from the use the hit from the mother, but kind of see that she's like fucking powerful and she's still going at it with Summer. So I kind of want, and then I see all these dark shadows around. So I kind of like whip around and I go to, wait, I'm on flank. Is that what I did?
You flanked.
What do I do? What do I do? I kind of, so I'm trying to imagine what these things look like because I'm just like zombie things.
Yeah, basically zombies, but again made of force energy and darkness and has been congealed into physical form.
Awesome. Such good visuals. Yeah, I kind of crouch low to the ground, kind of see who the nearest one I can take, and then I kind of just use my kind of rush toward them and kind of weave my way towards one of them and use the staff again and hopefully just like kind of charge it up with like of the of the force that I can summon and just kind of crush them like right on the like whatever is close to the neck if they have a neck.
The force empowered strike of your staff in touching an energy so pure and so full of life as opposed to what these creatures were summoned with, it seems as if a lightsaber itself, it shears through the darkness and you see its limb from the shoulder down just be locked off and then dissipate immediately into the shadows of the room. It shrieks and howls in unnatural sounds at this pain and turns to face you. And even as it raises its claws against you, you can see across its face what horror aghast at being forced to do this. And now it's the enemy's turn. The mother, at this point, has decided lightsaber not working very much at all. And instead, sheathes the blade for a moment, steps back from Summer, and begins to summon crackling bolts of electricity around her fingers, which she then holds out her hands and lashes all across the room at everyone. So, let's see, we'll put 2 danger on Zora and Summer.
Oni will dive to cover Kali.
You'll put, okay, great. So then I'll to the danger to you as well as you jump in front of one of those bolts and you take it, and it's just incredibly painful at that point. Then the others go. So one of the Ruthless Force goes after Oni, 1, 2, 3. And since it pushed you to 10, it can do danger to someone else. So it will go for Cravo, 1, 2, 3. Another will go for Zora. So 1, 2, 3. Hey, look, it puts you up to that. So 1, 2, 3. Hey, look, it puts you over. 1, 2, 3. And then the stun lockers at that point. Who would be good? Oni gets attacked by a stun locker. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. She's making all of them have actually +1 danger. So that's an extra danger for everyone. So these should actually all read 12 currently.
Is it? Shit.
And that means Oni is actually up by 1 more and is locked. So I will go ahead and I will turn your name red to let you know you can't use talents this coming round. And then let's do, you know what? It's a big deal for Summer, and it's a very big fight for her. So the mother is going to focus on Summer and try and isolate her at this point. So Summer is actually going up to 15 danger.
Yay!
Which I think is the highest we have ever had so far in the
Yeah.
game.
I think it's gone up to
15 danger.
13 or 14 before.
I think it's gotten close, but never to that point. So basically, these things attack, and everyone at this point is overwhelmed between the electricity sparking everywhere and these creatures swarming and just trying to attack and rip you all to shreds. Suddenly the tide of the battle has turned. Whereas before you were overwhelming the mother with numbers, now she has been able to get the upper hand on the dark horse. And with that, as the fight turns desperate, we are going to go to break.
Ah.
So, when we return, we will see the exciting conclusion of the battle against the mother. But while we are over at break, why don't everyone take the brief moment to go on over to roll20.net/start/WTTP, and you can go and sign up for your free account today. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games, us included, and with modules galore on the marketplace, you will definitely find something for you and your group to enjoy. And while you're going ahead and setting up your first campaign on Roll20, we also want to give a shout out to our amazing patrons, especially those in the host with the most tier for helping make this channel possible. That is a huge amount of love to Jack C, Nerdy T, Michelle E, Abigator, Anino, and Andy T. Every little bit helps us continue in our mission to platform amazing LGBTQ+ and BIMPOC players and creators, and we certainly want to keep doing that. If you enjoy what you're seeing, please go on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and consider becoming a patron today. We will be back in roughly 10 minutes to continue our boss battle and conclude the first arc of the first Ember. Until we return, always remember to resist, reclaim, and rebel. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the party. We join the crew of the Dark Horse here on Star Wars The First Ember, caught in the midst of a massive battle with an Inquisitor Lord of the Sith. And things are not looking great for the party right now. At the beginning of the last round, they have been overwhelmed by dark side undead that have been risen by this enemy known as the Mother. And the Mother herself has resorted to using Force Lightning to attack the majority of the party all at once, putting the majority of them in massive amounts of danger. But what happens from here, as it's now the party's turn to try and turn the tide? Who goes first?
I think we decided on me, correct?
Okay,
Okay.
Crava, what do you do?
Crava is going to see that Summer is in quite a bit of trouble after taking, hits from practically everything, and is going to attempt to help Summer get at least back on like an aggressive footing towards the Mother. So I'm going to suppress and try and reduce her danger.
Well, let's see if that works.
Then I can.
Hmm?
I was going to say, adding a talent to this isn't really worth anything, right?
Well, adding the talent adds to the number of successes. It would reduce the danger by even more. So I would make the roll first and then see if you need to use the talent.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think so.
And you have a passage in this scene, right?
I do.
So that's 6 successes. That drops Summer down to 9.
All right.
This is an amazing success, and your passage comes into effect here. What do you do to help reduce some of the pressure on Summer, stop her from a certain death at this point?
Pretty much her Crava being a former Galactic Republic army soldier and sniper sees kind of a tactical, or sees in a very tactical way. She sees, okay, this opening will help me, get Summer back on an offense rather than a defense from the Mother, and will just pretty much she's gonna take pot shots. She's gonna pull out her sidearm and just take pot shots at the Mother, try and get her to back off a little bit.
And sure enough, the Mother doesn't entirely back off, but instead the electricity coming from her hands rips through the floor, is tearing up the rock, is racing along the columns instead as she tries to turn to bring it more over towards Crava's direction, but can't seem to manage it right now. But it does make sure that Summer gets a brief breather, the air suddenly losing that sour ozone tang all around you, Summer. But what happens next then?
I will go. And I forgot that I couldn't use force powers because I was
Can't use
locked.
talents.
But it's fine because I can still do some things. I am going to invoke Oni as my grudge and Storm. So that's automatically 13.
So let's see, because that's 5.
5, double to 10 because of Gemso, plus 3 because of Storm.
Okay, so you can actually completely take out one of these light targets. Is that what you would like to do?
I am going to take out one of the stun lockers because, oh my gosh, they're annoying.
Yes, they are. So incorporating your grudge with Oni, how does that make you succeed enough to cut one of these down immediately?
Just like seeing Oni trying to shield just like, you know, not at Oni and more at the mother. It's like, I will not be weak. I am stronger than you, and absolutely just cleaves one of these illusions just down the middle.
The lightsaber cuts through with such speed and such force at that point that it completely dissipates within the red glow of the blade. It's almost like the lightsaber absorbs it. However, your danger continues to spike at this point as you cut
Yeah.
through this, filled with this fury, filled with this anger from your grudge at Oni and at the mother and at the just injustice of it all.
Yeah.
That emotion pours into your lightsaber, and you can feel inside of it that it begins to rumble slightly. And unexpectedly, your lightsaber begins to behave erratically. Electricity begins sparking up and down its length. The shell that normally holds the energy in place begins to fray in areas. The blade becomes unstable. As emotion pouring into the sword, you suddenly feel your connection with your crystal on the inside and see that the crystal has the barest of perceptible cracks forming down the center. The blade is barely coherent, but still humming violently, still usable as a weapon.
Need to take her out. I just need my vengeance.
Who goes next?
So Kiala is going to go next. And she's, as you remember, knocked down to the floor on one knee. And she's shaking so hard. She's trying to get up, but the dark side is so permeating the air around them, and the negative emotions coming from the Sith are overwhelming and just pummeling her and pummeling her and pummeling her. And she feels so helpless as the danger for all of her comrades, her friends, keeps increasing. And they just are in more and more danger and getting hurt, and they're fighting. And all she can do is sit there paralyzed on the floor. And she's succumbing to this feeling of despair, saying, not again. Not this again. You know, seeing everyone around her dying. And she alone is in this bubble where she can escape. Nothing is attacking her. There is no barrier in her way. And she hears the echo of her memory. Run, run. And she says, no. No, that was then. But now it's my responsibility. Now it's my turn. And she sees Creva, this incredibly strong Twi'lek, protecting the others around her, protecting Summer, and she is inspired. So I'm going to invoke the relationship, into the inspiration relationship for Creva using the passage. And as she begins to gather her own force power around her, she's going to invoke the balance of fate and use alter environment.
Alter environment. Okay. How does she do that?
So all she can feel in the air is the dark side just sapping the energy and the life and the will from all of them. And it's the very air of Korriban itself is just toxic to everybody and everything. And she begins to push at the dark side, the very element of the dark side of the Force itself with the light side. using her own core. And around her, beginning with just maybe a millimeter from her skin, and then it grows from a millimeter to an inch, from an inch to a foot, and it begins to swell. And it begins to push away all of that negativity from the air itself. And suddenly, everyone around her is going to feel lighter. Like there's nothing to hold them back. Suddenly they're not fighting through water, they're fighting through air. The wind is not pushing against them, it's moving with them. It's as if the very air itself is no longer fighting them, but fighting for them. The very air itself becomes one with the light side.
What tactic do you use on this? With all of this overwhelming success, what are you doing with it? Are you reducing someone else's danger? Are you continuing the attack at this point?
I am using suppress specifically to reduce Summer's danger most of all, the
It,
target
it
of the mother.
with the force power on top of it, and with the relationship invoked, it drops Summer's danger down to 0. It clears it entirely. And the narrative for that is, as you begin this outpouring of light within a place that is nothing but a dark side nexus, you become a solitary candle holding back all of the oppressive shadow. And the mother at that point turns towards you, narrows her yellow eyes, scowls, spits on the ground, saying, "Jedi brat, you miserable little child, you think that within here you can hold back everything I could bring to bear against you? I can snuff your flame with but a thought."
No. Not this time. We will not be snuffed out. Your kind tried that once before. But here I stand. We remain.
And as the mother turns to rectify this mistake and kill one of the last Jedi in the galaxy, what happens next? Yes, the balance of fate is fully in play now. So every single talent from here on out will give us a roll on the balance of fate tracker as the light and dark sides continue to fight throughout the midst of this duel. Everyone's danger has been dropped by a massive amount. Summer's danger is entirely cleared.
Cool. There's still 2 people who are higher than I want, so I'm going to go ahead and suppress as I hear
Okay.
that. Ooh, I have a break.
Okay, what's the break?
Spirits and spells.
Spirits and spells, how appropriate, I feel. Do you also have the ability that suppresses for 2 people at a time, or no?
Yes.
You do. Okay, so I'm going to assume both Zora and Creva at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 successes right there. 1, 2, 3. If either of you two have a crush on Oni, that relationship triggers.
Well, I mean, I do, but it's
It's complicated, I know.
yeah.
What do you do to reduce their danger? What happens?
I think
Especially working in your spirits and spells as your break triggered.
well, we've got a couple of spirits here. I'm going to talk to them and reach out to the spirits through my understanding of the force, and with all of the pain that they're in as the mother is twisting them out of their graves. just reach out and kind of send to them, we will let you rest when she's gone. And
In go ahead.
go ahead.
In a tongue that Oni barely recognizes, some long ancient dialect of the Zabraki Ulzabrak. One of the proto progenitors of her species turns to her and says, "We are shackled to the master's will. Break these chains, sister."
I will, brother.
And with that, through your ability through the magic, you see that their attacks come slower. They do not have anywhere near as much zeal to them as they once did. It's like there you see at some points them even fighting as if literally spectral chains are around their wrists and they're pulling back against them to stop them from making them harm these people that they have no qualm or quarrel with. It's the mother that is their true enemy and always has been. And I believe the last person to go in our round is Zora.
Okay. I am going to trigger my relationship with Click as my ward. And I am going to storm on the... Actually... that doesn't sound cool.
Wait a minute, I'm your ward?
Huh?
I'm your ward? Since when?
Since we talked way back when on the Force.
Oh.
What a poor Padawan you are. I will kind of look towards Oni and kind of yell out, "You got those detonators still?"
Yep, help yourself. And without activating them, Oni's going to toss at least one to Zora.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, at least one? So is it two? Can I have two?
Oh no!
Yeah, you can have two.
Okay. How big are
This is
these?
gonna be fun.
How big are these detonators?
The size of
Detonators
an orange.
are about the size of like your hand holding something. They're like
Baseball.
a big baseball, yeah, slightly bigger than like a softball. They're about no baseball. Baseballs are
Yeah,
better.
they're about baseball size.
Yeah.
If you look at the one in Boba Fett's hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to use combustion and try to make it so the fort try to make it so the detonators hit the mother or at least land on her, and I will use that and detonate it on the mark so it hits her full blast.
What's the range of a thermal detonator again?
Hopefully far. 1, 2, 3 from the storm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the relationship. So that is 2 more hits using the detonators. Okay. And do you have a talent that's ranked at 4 by any chance?
Yeah, combustion.
And you did use combustion, didn't you?
Yes.
So that's another hit. That's 3 hits in the same fucking round against her.
Hell yeah, Zora.
Nice.
Okay.
Six hits in the same round against her.
Do you want to take the narration away for this? How this looks, or because this is cool as shit.
Yeah. Well, I was after Zora kind of Oni kind of throws the two detonators, but Zora, like, instead of catching it, like, she kind of like sees it in the air and pushes it and kind of force pushes it towards the mother, and using her powers just kind of uh makes it land like on her back, and probably one either in the lower back or at the like the back of her thigh, and she just extends her arm and snaps her fingers, and the detonators just explode.
Summer and Kiala, somewhat nearby, are able to dive behind columns or use the force or some means to protect themselves from
I yell, sorry!
from sudden small thermonuclear fusion detonations right in front of them. The mother herself, Summer, notices a huge spike in the dark side as she tries to draw in the energy to protect herself. Kiala can even feel it as a variation of her own ability to control and redirect energy, heat, and things of that nature. However, when the detonators go off, it doesn't appear to have worked well at all. The mother's hair has been completely singed off at that point. You see up and down the side of her face and on parts of her arm and along her back and side. The clothing has also been burned off or melted at that point. She has horrific burns all across her body now from these things in such close proximity. She's alive, and it's Summer can definitely feel it is only through sheer rage and anger that she is still keeping herself going at this point. But it's a lot of damage, so you did a good job, Sora. So that brings us to the top of the round. Let's see. The mother, with her ability, creates one new light threat, which is just going to be a basic trooper, no special effects, at a rating 1. Yep. Valkyrie and Sparkfly are no longer targeted by the stun lockers. So, hey, look, your powers come back on. Instead, these stun lockers decide to target
the stun locker, because there's only one.
There is only one. Thank you for the reminder. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to target Zora because they just saw Zora unleash amazing, fiery, combustive death with the Force, and they don't quite understand or can't grasp with their own intellect what it is that Kiala did with the Force. They don't see that as much of a threat. They can't comprehend it at this point. So that stun locker adds 3 danger to Zora. And then one of the Ruthless Force adds 1, 2, 3, 4 danger to Zora. And then, hey, look, that put it over. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to Kiala. And then they can't get another one. So they are just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 to Oni. And then the mother unleashes and does 2 to everyone except Zora. So 2, 2, 2, 2. As the next round begins. Oh, I'm sorry. I have one more light threat. Crava. Enjoy one more light threat.
I thank you, Jago. That was just wonderful of you.
It's what I'm here for, okay? I do it out of love, to be honest. But the round begins. The dark-sided creatures continue to swarm and using their claws as they begin to rip through clothing and begin to actually start to leave wounds. You realize they don't so much scratch, they're not drawing blood, but it's almost like where the shadow touches, you can feel your skin grow cold. And when you look down, it's covered in bruises, black, purple, and yellow, that form very quickly on the skin, and you can feel it's almost like the flesh itself is dying every single time they touch you. Combined with the electricity everywhere, it's It's not going great. Oh, and I'm actually very sorry. Zora used a force power, and nobody used Kali last round. So who wants to trigger Kali to refresh someone's fatigue by 3? Who needs it?
I don't. I'm good.
I guess I could have triggered it to reduce Zora's danger.
It doesn't reduce danger, it reduces fatigue.
Oh, fatigue.
Fatigue.
That's God. I
My
really need to
fatigue's-
learn to read.
Kiala's fatigue is pretty high because of the balance of fate. So
All right. So Kiala it is, unless anybody else has decently high.
Not as high as Kiala's, no.
Mine
Okay.
is 1.
You're gonna want
because
to
I
use
keep.
that.
Yeah, no, I am. I have a plan.
I'm sure. So Kali works with stalks and continues to pick up on the light side channel that you brought into this chamber, and almost creates a feedback loop with you, restoring your own measure of control and harmony within this discordant place. Your fatigue drops by 3. Zora, why don't you go ahead and give us a d6 roll, because you actually used a force power, so the balance of fate is in effect.
Yay.
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 I'm gonna have to change my call
It goes
sign to
up.
Stalks.
It again just really loves the light
The
side.
light side loves
Because
me.
of course it does.
The light
every-
side loves me.
every
It's
single
roll
time.
20 that likes the
single
light
time.
side.
However, this is great for everyone because this means all of your powers cost 1 less fatigue. So if ever there was a time to go hard and use them as much as possible, this is it. Danger is spiking. Zora's in trouble. Who goes first?
I would like to go first. And I would like to invoke my relationship with Crava. Because Crava's a rival and got 3 successes. Got fucking 6 successes. Holy shit, Crava.
I know the whole team is going all out this fight. This is awesome.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm just awesome.
So 5 successes, double to 10 because of Gem, so +3 from Storm, and then +4 from using healing. And I'm gonna work that in a second. So I believe that is 17.
Yes. So
That
10,
just put it back
5,
to 3.
2 to 2.
Oh yeah.
So that's 3 hits. I'm assuming they're all going to the mother.
Yep. Just like, what's wrong, mother? Are you getting overwhelmed by someone you thought was beneath you and a Jedi and these 3? Oh, I thought you were better than this. And just absolutely ignoring the shadows attacking her, just healing through the damage.
And you can see your own skin returning back to its normal pallor as you suffuse yourself with the force to fight through this. The entire time, the mother is barely able to offer up resistance to the assault at this point. The entire time, she keeps trying to taunt you to break your own focus, saying, I made you what you are. You owe everything to me, you ungrateful child.
Pathetic. And I will roll to see if the balance of fate changes.
Let's see what happens.
That's a 4.
So it stays where it is, meaning everyone's force powers stay the same. However,
Yeah.
good news and bad news. One, that next stage of the mother's fight is over. The mother can no longer spawn more minions, nor does she make the minions more powerful. The bad news at this point is she begins emanating raw power within the dark side. All of you can feel your muscles starting to not want to engage in this fight anymore. Waves of fear and dread roll out from her and wash over you like thunderstorms. She is now a dread engine. The fatigue cost of all abilities is doubled. So The good news is that because the light side is still strong here, it makes it where you reduce your fatigue cost by 1 first and then apply the double, so it's not as bad, but it's still pretty fucking bad. The fight has now hit a peak. So who goes next?
I think I will. And I will actually invoke my relationship with Summer as a curiosity.
Summer's your curiosity?
Yes. It
I'd
changed
forgotten
after,
that.
it changed after Oni's incident scene.
Right, where Summer healed her. Right,
Yeah.
continue.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Storm, and with the disruptor rifle, and I'm gonna add in my sight again.
So let's see, and it's a relationship, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the relationship, plus 1, 2, 3 from Storm. That's already 2 hits. Plus sight, is it rated at 4 or 3?
It is 3.
2, 3. All right. So at least 2 hits, and the disruptor allows you to apply 2 hits whenever you hit a light target here. Do you want to basically just clear out 2 of these light troopers then and just dust them? Because you can do that.
That's actually what I was planning. I figured, okay, Summer's kind of holding off the mother at the moment. That's cool. I'll take care of the rest of these small ones. And I'm, just take care of the 2 most susceptible ones, to say.
And sure enough, the power of your sight allows you to target these creatures specifically through the force. Even in the darkness, they can't hide from you. And the disruptor appears to be just as effective against them as any other weapon you have. It carves through the shadow. However, in doing so, instead of absolutely killing them, due to Oni's work earlier, Oni and you too, Cravo, through your foresight, can see that those chains that they appear to be struggling against are shattered from your attack, and they immediately leap to your aid and defense.
Sweet.
While these creatures are no longer counting as danger for the rest of you, they are now considered fire support under the reinforcements. They can be triggered once per round by anyone to add 3 progress or reduce 3 danger to anyone.
Cool.
They turn on their masters and immediately begin trying to free their brethren and trying to tear apart the mother alongside Summer. These spirits fight alongside you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, who goes next?
Kiala can go next.
Oh,
the
shit.
disruptor is broken.
The disruptor is broken, and also roll for the balance of fate. It goes down. Oh, that's not good. So now fatigue costs are even higher. Your normal power, your force powers cost 6 to use. Your talents cost 4.
Good job, Craven. I'm just kidding.
As the dark side is resurgent in this area, the mother is not going down without a fight. You can feel her pressure battling against the light side wave emanating from Kiala at this point, the 2 conflicting within the center of the room as Summer and the mother continue their duel around it, circling this yin and yang energy the entire time. Kiala, I believe you were speaking. Do you go next?
Kiala will go next. And she slowly rises to her feet, her lightsaber still trembling in her hand, and she looks over to the mother and she just gives sort of a half shake of her head and sends a message through the force to Summer and says, this is your trial. Let's see if I can take some of the pressure off as she charges at one of the shadow creatures.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm going to roll for passage. I'm sorry, passage. Flank. Sorry, I don't have a passage.
Not for combat, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let me
It's
try that.
okay. Just roll 2d6 because I see one success. So 1 success total. Do you want to use perhaps your spice kit? It'll only cost you 4 fatigue, and you'll be able to get the hit, and you can annihilate that stonewalker.
Yes, it'll max out my fatigue, but I will go ahead and use the spice kit. And
Okay, stonewalker is defeated. How does the spice kit help you overcome this?
well, she brings out a tool to inject an adrenaline and stimulant directly into her bloodstream. Something that is strong enough that would normally kill your average humanoid. But Balisars are very resistant to the negative effects of these drugs. So it her eyes dilate, they get real big, and she moves fast. And that lightsaber is blurring as she relentlessly attacks. And it's not graceful, it's not pretty, but it is powerful.
There is, in the midst of all of this chaos and horror, a brief flicker through everyone's mind at that point as Kali cannot suppress her emotions as she still hasn't learned a damn thing. But
Always gotta
either
be putting
way,
me down.
either way, you are successful in that you slice through the invisible chains on this creature as well, and it turns to help you as well, adding to your reinforcements here. Who is next?
I don't like how much in danger everyone around me is. So shockingly, Oni is going to go ahead and suppress again.
Probably a good idea, especially considering at this point Zora is in a lot of trouble. Zora is very high. Do you have a passage?
I do.
That's 6 successes right there. Who do you target?
And that passage is Sister of Dathomir. That works nicely. I want Click and Sable out of the danger zone. Danger zone. I know. I'm sorry. As soon as I said it, I realized. And I kind of want to go ahead and throw a force power on top of there.
Absolutely. What force power do you use?
I kind of want to do. Okay, alter environment is rated at a 4. So I kind of want to use it. In a weird way, you said earlier that this entire planet is suffused with the dark side?
Korriban is a dark side nexus. Yes. It is very, very suffused in it.
Oni is going to take the very darkness of Korriban and she's, if you're okay with this, Persephone, because I'm kind of playing a little bit of like Calvin Ball with the descriptions here. She's going to take that darkness and remembering that time that you put your hand on her and healed her through breathing through the pain is just going to breathe that darkness in and exhale it back out to her comrades as any protection that she can offer to them. So that sense that sense of darkness that was weighing them down before. It's now like they have a darkness shield around them that meets it and allows them to push forward back against it.
That is cool as hell.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, no, that's fucking cool. And if that's the way Oni does it, that's the way Oni fucking does it.
The danger drops. The dark side is being fought back here. It is being manipulated to twist and suit your own ends. It is being stolen from these creatures. It is being stolen from the mother. The force is causing mass reverberations through the stone at this point. Zora, I believe you. Go ahead, Oni.
I'm trying to roll for the balance of fate.
Oh, that's right. You still have to do that. It goes down to the dark side. Oh no! For the first time.
Yes.
So, as you twist and bend the dark side to do this, so in this case, the way it works is you spike your own danger and somebody else's danger up to 3. Has to be minimum 1 up to 3. But you add that many successes to the roll you just made. So both Zora and Cravo would go down in danger by an equal number to however much you spike yours and whoever else's. Has to be minimum 1.
I'm fine with you spiking mine. It's totally fine.
I'm just thinking though, because Click is down to 0 already with the force power on top of there, but Sable's got 3 more to go, so I'll go ahead and add 3. 1 from myself and 2 from Valkyrie. Is that how that works?
No, it's both of you go up by an equal amount of danger.
Both go. Okay. You okay if we go up by 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck it.
We're going up by 3.
1, 2, 3. And Zora is completely refreshed. Oni, this does mean you are past 10.
Yup.
Okay. I believe Zora is still left to go for this round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we invoked the fire support?
I don't
We
think
have
Kali
not invoked this fire support or Kali. No.
Okay. I would like to invoke that and reduce Sparkfly's danger by 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Probably a good call. Who do you use Kali for?
Oh, do I have to use both?
You can.
Oh.
If you use it on Summer, I can do a really cool thing, but you don't have to.
Wait, we were just talking about this in chat on who has a very high fatigue. Crava, is yours still pretty high?
Mine is currently at 8. I'm not sure what Kiala's is at.
Mine's maxed.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, definitely use Kiala.
Yeah, let's.
But I can't. All of my talents would cost too much anyway, so there's no point.
It may actually be better to use it on someone who can actually afford to use the talent next time.
So I would recommend Summer in that case.
Yeah, because I can't afford to use one other.
Okay, I'll give it to Summer then, or
Hell yeah.
I will ask Kali to send support to Summer.
And support is sent, and the freed slaves of Sith Old rush to Oni's defense at this point, fending off more Force Lightning, fending off more of the deadly powers of the Mother, keeping you alive, keeping you safe. And then Zora, what do you do with your actual turn?
I am going to. I think Zora is really starting to feel like the oppressive atmosphere, and it's kind of getting to her. So I think she's gonna back off on offense a little bit and kind of just flip away from everything and take out her light bow and kind of just flank and use the bow towards the Mother.
Okay, try and get one more hit to make it easier.
Yeah.
Go ahead with that flank. Do you have enough fatigue to use a power? Remember, you have to use a power or one of your thermal detonators there to land the hit.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, do your thing. Roll that beautiful flank footage.
Flank Oh my god, what is it?
Now I want to go listen to Danger Zone and eat some Bush's beans. Thanks a
And
lot.
Nutella.
Oh, and Nutella, yes.
Yes.
I'm listening to some specific boss music on loop, and it's good.
So funny.
1, 2, 3, and plus 13. You rolled a 1d16.
Oh,
That's
what the heck?
incredible.
My bad.
just,
Why is this so high?
just roll 1d6. Just roll 1d6.
There we go.
Okay, 3 successes is enough to just get to under the hit. So you'll have to use a talent to push you over and add the hit. What do you use?
Okay, Ooh.
I'm just gonna add the hit here because we are marking that that's a thing.
I'm going to use a combustion again, and as the bow shoots and hits its mark, whatever section that pierces into the mother, she will explode the arrow, so hopefully it'll like kind of shatter internally.
And it does. It breaks her arm that dangles and hangs uselessly at that point, where all she has now is just her saber and whatever power she can muster in the dark side to try and hold all of you off. Roll that balance of fate. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Come on, Zora.
Please don't go down. Please don't go down.
Yeah.
Please don't go down. It stays where it is. So in this case, because it stays where it is, it's the same as before. You have to add a danger to yourself and someone else, and increase your progress by that amount. I would say it is good enough at this point to just add 1, because 1 will get you straight up to 4 progress on the tracker, which will set up Summer really nicely to get 2 hits very easily. And then you only have to increase your danger and someone else's danger by 1.
I can get 4 hits.
Of course. Of course you can.
Oh, this is going to be epic.
Yeah, I guess I'll just set her up then, since she's so confident.
Okay. We increase your danger by 1, and who else?
You can do me, that's fine.
Is it okay, Click? You're at 0.
Yeah.
Click.
Okay. The combustion forces Click out of cover at that point from you using it rather aggressively and rather recklessly, and make sure that Click cannot take as much safety from the enemies. We are in the final round at this point because there's no way the mother is surviving past this. But just to make it interesting, the mother takes this moment to reach out with even her broken arm, like barely lifting it up, this mangled mess of bruised and shattered bone, points it at Oni and just tightens as hard as she possibly can. Oni, you feel yourself lifted into the air and things just begin to constrict and break. Your danger goes up by 10.
Oh, shit.
Can I go before you, Persephone?
If you are going to do what I think you are going to do, then yes, you may go. I just want to take out the mother.
Okay.
Summer, with her doing that, she does everything she can to overwhelm you with her lightsaber. A death by 1,000 cuts at this point in a Makashi flourish that would put some of the great masters to shame. Your danger increases by 10.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm at 15. Cool.
You're at
14 or whatever.
15. Oni has now hit 18.
I am gonna hit 18 in a second.
Don't
Don't you worry.
One of the last sit spawn takes a little swipe at Zora. Zora, however, you can use powers again because that ability has been knocked out. Action.
Crava, you said you wanted to go?
Yeah. I was going to suppress and invoke my relationship with Oni as my rival, since the last round she scored 3 more successes.
All right, so you suppress. That is immediately goes down by 5, so that brings her to 13. Do you have a talent that you could throw onto this to get her below 10?
I don't think I can afford one. No.
Okay, then that's what you can do. What do you do to help reduce the danger here, at least?
At this point, I'm essentially gonna see that my disruptor rifle my pack is gone, so I'm gonna chuck it, lay down the rifle, pull out a blaster, literally go up to the mother and shoot what remains off of her arm, so she can no longer attack Oni.
You see that through the force, she appears to be deflecting enough of the blaster bolts away where it doesn't release her grip on Oni, but you can see that Oni is starting to be able to breathe again. There's some measure of relief as the power begins to lessen. Who goes next?
I would like to go next.
Do it.
Yes, indeed.
Do it.
I am going to do it. And I am going to invoke Zora as my rival. Because I think I have Zora as nope, Zora's curiosity. It's still able to be invoked. And get doing the same thing I have before, doubling it with Gem so that's 10 to 13, and then 17 from using healing. I believe that's 4 hits.
That is 4 hits.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a little bit liberal with this narration-wise, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just the ghost zombie thing keeps trying to hit me, and I'm just healing through it. I just like backhand it out of the way, and it disintegrates. The mother's trying to incorporate force lightning into these strikes, but after the openings provided by Zora and Crava, I'm just able to block it, and through the healing, even taking knocking the saber out of her hand, and then taking the force lightning and making it into the spear that I keep talking about with my philosophy, and just throw it right through her chest. If that's cool.
No, that's absolutely cool. You form the Spear of Midnight Black and impale the mother upon it. And with that, she has a stuttering gasp, and the saber falls from her hand as she begins to like clutch at where this thing has pierced her. However, the danger does not go away just because the enemy is defeated. If we cannot get Oni and Summer below danger, then it's still a Phoenix protocol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am at 18.
Yeah.
And that is my turn.
So we have 1 round to try and get them below.
I should roll for the balance of fate. Sorry.
You should roll for the balance of fate. And this last creature dissipates as...
Yeah.
Fuck. You're not at 18.
Yeah, no, I believe I'm at 23.
You are now at 23.
Yeah.
So for the sake of time, at this point, I'm going to say it is definitely possible to get Oni down if everyone works together. It is not possible to get Valkyrie down at this point.
Just panting And Summer's usually pretty composed. I think just the dark side is just making all of her veins black.
Yeah, it's the mother lashes out at one last bit with electrical energy to try and overwhelm you, but eventually collapses and falls. And the combat is over. However, it is at that point that Summer and the rest of you, beaten, bruised, bleeding, barely holding together in some cases, look down upon the mother and realize that she is fading. And what remains of her clothing is disappearing. What remains of her lightsaber is suddenly just gone, as if brushed away on an invisible wind. There's nothing there.
Damn it!
Oni, from where she's lying crumpled on the ground, is just going to say, the, the computer terminal. We gotta finish this.
Fine, yes, right.
Kali rushes over with the crystal that was once the heart of her lightsaber blade. Takes that, slots that into a data chip that has been specifically prepared for this, takes the chip, shoves it into the terminal. She looks over her shoulder and goes, "Stalks, I need you."
She's already there. She was already moving anyway.
The two of you fly over the interface, pulling up every single thing that you possibly can on the Imperial Data Network as the worm within that crystal begins to work its way into Imperial security. And you watch as filter after filter after filter is overcome, that anything that tries to block whatever this virus is that Kali has created is just instantly defeated. And then everything shuts off for a brief moment, and Kali stares as if almost expecting this. And when it winks back on again, it says, "Greetings and welcome, Imperial Commander." And it softly glows, revealing full access to the holonet, unrestricted and unfettered.
We need allies. We need to find out how to reach them.
That's what we're gonna do.
Kali, go ahead.
Kiala immediately hooks up her data pad to the holonet, and she's not even searching. She's just downloading anything there is.
Current Imperial codes, current Imperial fleet movements, garrison details, weapon shipments, arms manufacturing plants, everything that you could possibly pull up, medical supply shipments, where they have prison camps, where they have death squads. You're able to pull a vast amount of information to the point where your data pad can't hold all of this.
She gets rid of the stuff that's not as necessary. She's searching for contacts.
Kali and Kiala work together, and Kali is the one that is bringing up, at the very least, most of the worlds that have been hardest hit by the Empire. She shows Dak, the homeworld of the Mon Calamari and the Quarren. She shows Kashyyyk, homeworld of the Wookiees. She shows Kalmanor, which is closer towards the core worlds, and a dozen other hotspots around the galaxy. And as she does so, Kiala, you basically get the Empire's hit list, like their most wanted, the people that are listed for mass terrorism, for treason, for all the things like that. The people that you know that if they are on that list, they are there because they are fighting the Empire militarily, that they are leading kinetic rebellion against them. Kali looks back over her shoulder at everyone and says, "We have unrestricted comms access."
Well, let's put out a fucking message. And I want to just try and straighten up through the pain as best I can, and walk over there.
Does anybody else join Summer at the console?
Kiala is going to stand side by side with Summer in a sign of solidarity.
Okay. Either Oni, Creva, or Zora.
Zora will stand by, but she is just like wiped out. She's like using her staff as like a crutch. So she kind of hobbles her way over, but I think she's just on her knees like panting, but she is next to them but not standing. She just wants to show that she's there.
I think if
Creva's
Oni
gonna
were to get
help,
over there, Creva would have to take her.
Krava's going to help Oni over.
Who begins? And what do you say? Kali pushes the broadcast button.
Attention, free peoples of the galaxy. Or I suppose you would be free if not for the tyrannical despot of the Emperor and the terrible betrayal of the peace and justice of the former Republic. This does not have to be, though. We have taken over a communications relay, or whatever the fuck this is.
Relay is correct.
Yeah. You can resist. The Empire is not as strong as they think they are. If the Emperor thinks himself a god, then there are demons yet willing and able to take him down.
Kiala follows. The galaxy that we knew yesterday is gone, never to return. The galaxy that is here today is something we have never before faced in our history. It is time for all of us to rise up. The time for hiding and the time for peace has been stolen from us. War has come to you against your will, and we're only going to survive it, to win it, to return to our freedom and peace that we once knew, if we stand together as one. The first step is reaching out, finding each other. We must connect.
Are Creva or Oni gonna go?
Go ahead.
I know there are so many of you that have lost so much already to this. So much that has been stolen and burned and taken. And you would wonder what is left. And why should I fight? And I would say it's because it's been taken. It's because they think that you are beaten and weak, that you should. To show them that they are wrong. And that from the ashes we will rise. Again, stronger than ever before. The time to fight is now.
The Empire has been nothing but a blight on this universe. On this. They have done nothing but corrupt what used to be a peaceful galactic republic. We ask you to help us get back to that. Help us fight. Help us bring the Empire down. Because without you, we will only fail.
Will the broadcast reach the mic if Zora doesn't stand up?
Yes, they can hear
Okay.
you.
Zora starts off quiet, exhausted, but she manages to say, I can't imagine what everyone has lost. I know I have. And maybe some of you are thinking that you didn't do enough, that you were scared or something, and somehow it was your fault, but don't be afraid. Don't let that stop you. The past is past. You can only look forward. You have the strength to do this.
You know that anger you feel when the Empire has oppressed you, has taken from you, taken what you love. Maybe they have even taken someone you love's life. Use that. Use that fire and make it into a glorious phoenix that we can use to burn the Empire down. Let's burn the Empire down together and make something new and better from the ashes. And I will ignite my saber as I say that.
Kiala shakes her head at that. It will not be anger that wins this. It will be hope. It will be the strength that comes only from those who do good, from those who wish for nothing but peace. It is a unique strength, and one that cannot be crushed by any force, not even the Empire.
Oh, I totally do it.
Yep.
And it will take all of us, all who resist the Empire.
Whatever your flame, hope, or anger, use it against the Empire.
At first, there is no response. The seconds tick on, and then into minutes. And for the briefest moment, it flickers through your minds that maybe nobody was listening. Maybe nobody heard. Maybe the Empire killed the connection before you managed to even get out your first lines. And then, filtering in through the relay itself, screens begin to link on one by one. First is a group of Wookiees, and through the translator, you hear them proclaim, Baka's blades stand with you to end the slavery of the Empire. for Kashyyyk and all free peoples. Another group winks on. Kali traces the data signal to Onderon, where an older war veteran in very battered armor says, "This is Saw Gerrera. We of the Onderon Free Resistance stand with you. We will fight for the cause." And then Dak, and then Felucia, and then Corellia, and then a dozen different planets, and then 100 different planets, and it just keeps on going bigger and bigger and bigger until you just keep on getting messages back of "We resist, we reclaim, we rebel." And like a fire spreading through the galaxy, the first Ember can be traced back to you. Away from the orbit of Kashyyyk, of Korriban, of Korriban,
The other K planet.
the other K planet, away from the orbit
The
of Korriban,
special K planet.
sits a triangular shadow hanging between the planet's moons and its sun. Aboard is a woman collapsed in a meditation chamber, barely breathing. As the camera pans over her face, we can clearly see it is the mother, still carrying some of the scars and damage that were sustained during the battle. Not as bad as what you have done to her, but bad enough. She immediately slams a communicator nearby and says, "Admiral, to Coruscant." The ship leaps out of hyperspace and suddenly appears back over Imperial Center. It passes by the massive fleets of the Imperial Navy as it does so, the Golan defense platforms that hold an immeasurable number of TIEs and turbo lasers meant to vaporize anything that comes against them. The mother stands in her meditation chamber and activates a holocom. A cloaked figure faces her. "Darth Timora, is it done?" She bows her head and gets down onto her knees before the Emperor of the Galaxy. "Yes, my lord. They think that they have lit this flame of their own accord. And with it, we shall snuff out every single light in the galaxy." Credits. Thus concludes the first arc of Star Wars: The First Ember, which was originally supposed to be new to the party. We were supposed to come here fresh, but I missed a day, and that is entirely on me. So that is the end of our episode tonight. And I just want to give a huge amount of thanks to everyone that was with us throughout it in the audience. Ajay, I saw that you finally got to join us live. Thank you so much. That is so cool to have you here. I know that you've been following us on VOD catching up. And we also had Cam was here for the first time, which is also super cool. And whoever else that managed to join us, we salute you very much. Thank you for joining the rebellion. I'm going to go ahead and let my players give their outros in the reverse order from how I introduced them. So go ahead and tell us who you actually are, where else we may be able to find you on the internet, what other games you might be playing in, anything you want to plug, as well as some brief thoughts on the session for tonight. So let's go ahead and start with Kelly.
Hi everyone, I am Kelly, and I played Kiala, the albino Balasar Slicer, Spicer, Smuggler, Jedi Knight. And this particular episode was boy, it was overwhelming with the dark side. And I think that the players and everyone were just incredibly inspiring. They really tapped into some great speeches and some incredible scenes in the fights, and just bravo, everyone. And of course, our talented GM. If you are searching for me online, I do recommend reaching out to him. He is my spouse, and he is a lot more available than I usually am. So, connectivity issues. But thankfully, survived the storm tonight. So, thank you everyone for watching.
Ulfrig.
Hello, I go by Ulfrig on the interwebs. You can find me here. And then on Saturday nights, I'm over on Story Girls channel with the other Star franchise, Star Trek Adventures, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I am part of the team along with Jago, who helps organize our Monday night one-shot series here on Welcome to the Party Side Quests, which is, coincidentally, a Star Wars theme event this month. Woo! Yeah, so that's pretty much where you can find me and what I'm up to these days. Thoughts on tonight? I really loved seeing the different ways that people brought their understanding, the characters wove their understandings of the Force into the way that they were fighting. And I thought there were just some really extraordinary moments of characterization to come out of all of that action. Y'all killed it. Nice work, team.
I agree. I agree. This was a blast to run tonight. Let's hear from Kupo Knight.
Hello, I'm Kupo Knight. You can find me on Discord and Twitter as Kupo Knight. On Twitter, it's KUP0, KNIGHT. And I played Zora the Togruta, Guardian of the Will. But other than that, you can find me usually on Twitter harping on about Vibrant Visible Victorious, also known as 3V, which is Welcome to the Party's BIMPOC specific one-shot show. It doesn't look like there's anything scheduled this Saturday, unfortunately, but we have moved to a new time on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, I know my time schedules. So hopefully that'll be a bit more accessible for people. But yeah, please do keep that in mind if you're interested in signing up. The show takes all levels. It doesn't matter if you're a new expert GM, new player, expert player, doesn't matter. Just bring your lovely self and have fun. And other than that, this coming Sunday, I will be on a new campaign with Phoenix Femme, and it'll be in her own world that she created, and her worlds are fucking amazing. And it's called Erowyn, and it'll be based off the Numenara system, or the Numenara book. And I've been wanting to play it, and it's just blowing my mind right now. I'm very excited, and that'll be on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays. Yes. And
Yes.
if I'm not doing that and not playing Animal Crossing, I am on my own Twitch channel at Kupo Knight, Kupo_Knight, playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, or because that's what I'm currently obsessed in. And yeah. So if you want to watch me flail and yell at the screen, come hang out. But other than that, this episode was intense. Like, everyone did such a good job. I was just like such in awe of everyone else. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but okay. So, but yeah, everyone did such a good job.
I agree. We're going to turn it on over to Sorkia.
Hello, Sorkia, and playing Kravis Strellis tonight. This episode was, there's no other words for it, fucking bonkers. That literally sums up this episode. And I gotta kind of agree. I think it was AJ that pointed it out. You and your damn cliffhangers, Jago. What the hell?
How else do I keep you five coming back every single week?
You pay us, right?
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna.
aside from that,
Well, there's the four of us. You have a wife that you just yell at until she comes in.
I do no such thing. Oh my god.
I know. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Uh,
I was gonna say,
Uh,
Sorkia, do you want a shovel or a ladder there?
um, I'll get back to you on that one.
Anywhere else that we can find you online? Any other games? Anything you want to plug?
Online, just Discord. Welcome to the party Discord at Sorkia. You can find me on Animal Crossing with Kupo as well, because I'm always in there bugging the crap out of her. And I'm going to be starting behind the scenes here on Monday nights with Ulfrig and Jago as well, working the production for SideQuest. So that's going to be interesting. So 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. Mondays, right? Or 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. So, yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. And last but certainly not least is Persephone.
Hi, I'm Persephone. I played Summer, and holy fuck! Ah, that was so good, but also very stressful, but so good. I still want those holocrons, by the way, which are pyramids and not cubes. But that was so fucking cool.
Sorry, I think I was thinking of the Jedi holocrons instead of the Sith
Yeah,
ones.
Sith holocrons are pointy. You gotta be able to use it, as like a weapon. I mean, I suppose you could use a cube as a weapon too.
Yeah,
But
they're D4s, not D6s. They do, 1D4 caltrop damage, right?
exactly. But you can find me at Persephone Hime, all one word, on Twitter, and in the Welcome to the Party Discord. Also, eventually, at some point, hopefully, you'll be able to find me back on twitch.tv/the Bardic Knock, playing in Before the Crimson Storm, a One Piece D20 game, and I'm a big gay anime pirate. It's fun. I'm also literally big. I'm like 12 fucking feet tall. You think Summer's tall? Double that shit.
And I have been Jago. I have been Don. I have been your Galaxy Master for the evening here on Hyperdrive. As always, it is my pleasure to run this game, and I hope that everyone had a blast the entire time through. I know I certainly did. As Ulfric said, I am also on the Welcome to the Party team that helps organize and get side quests running. So go ahead and check that out on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, for our upcoming game, which I believe is For the Queen, if I remember correctly. For the Queen, which is a card game that is very, very narrative based and is going to be a lot of fun. It's always a blast every time we run it. With that, we are done for the evening. There is nothing further on Welcome to the Party, so we are going to go ahead and raid Roll It Slant, who are playing some D&D. So we'll join in with them and see what they're doing in 5th edition right now. We will be back next Thursday, same time. And until then, resist, reclaim,
Rebel,
and
raid.
raid.
We'll work on it.
Oh my god, we're already